Welcome to season 2 of this. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be 3D modeling the Master Sword from The Legend of Zelda. So what I was doing just now is I haven't used the software in a little while, so I was relearning how to use the Stitch and Sew tool, which you can connect points together like that. So yeah, here's what we're going to be making. And one note before I start is there's a few different versions of this. What I'm seeing, like, look at this one. This one has points right there, whereas this one does not. So, you know, I'm just gonna kind of make one that I think looks cool, not focus too much on on replicating an exact one, because a lot of them are different. So that would be impossible to do. Without further ado, let's get started. This will be on my other screen, so you guys won't see it, but I'll be referencing that. And yeah, let's see. Maybe we can just start with one of these cubes. And let's take it and let's scale it down. How do I move this? There we go. Let's scale it down. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about random stuff during this. What yet? I don't know. But we will find that out, I guess, right? Might not talk for periods of time because I do have some lo-fi music on. What I'm going to start with is I'm going to make the spot right here where that is. I'm going to start with that square. I'm going to try to build off of that square. I think that'll be a good way to get this thing going. So I'm kind of worried about getting that rounded piece on there. So I'm going to give this a shot first. Start with that challenge. And this is the first time I've used this software in a little while, so you can freak out if some stuff takes me future hours if you want, but I'm planning on doing more of these, so you know, I'll get better, right? So I'm trying to do now is I'm gonna use that Stitch and Sew tool to sew together that this piece and this piece, and I'm just gonna look for a way I can do this. I think what I need to do is I want to use the loop selection tool on the lines. I want to make this as close to the exact width of the main sword piece as I can. So let's see here. And now we're getting to the point where I don't remember how to use the scale on 2 lines. There we go. Alright, now we're off to the races. So one trick is you can look on this window and scale, be zoomed in on this other window. And I think it's better if it's a little bit wider. What we're going to do then is we're just going to move it closer. Now we're going to try to use that Stitch and Sew. So now I need 2 pieces to be the right width from the top angle. Okay. Now we're going to go back to points. And we're going to select the points that are closest to the edge. Yeah, so the topic discussion today is going to be, why am I making this type of video now? You know, I recorded a lot of videos of myself just talking about random stuff last winter, and over, you know, the course of the last few months, I've just had time to think. I knew I wanted to record more of similar content, but I needed to figure out what to do exactly. So right now I've been getting into programming. I just got a job doing it, and I don't get to do this video stuff as much as I used to when I just didn't really have a plan for, like, my future. So now that I do have a plan for my future, and I am currently successfully executing said plan, I have more time for more fun stuff. And I thought that doing some more 3D modeling would be both a good mental workout as well as a way to make some videos just talking about stuff in the world that I care about. So that's where we're at, and that's what I'm currently doing. Alright, let's see here. So there might be a way to combine all these lines into one line, but what I'm gonna do, okay, hold on a sec. I think it'll be fine if I just subdivide this cube in the same amount of pieces as that one. So I want to just do a line cut, and then I want to match up these points, and I'm going to use these lines as a guide, and we'll move the points into position in a sec. So we're just going to stitch and sew all these points together. Yeah, you know, I'm not the best at 3D modeling, but I do know how to figure things out. I know the tools, I should say. I'm not an expert at the tools. What I want these videos to be long term is I think I want to make something kind of like a lo-fi thing where you can just watch it while you're doing something else with your time, and but it's maybe a little bit more mentally engaging. Hopefully I'll talk about interesting stuff. I'd like to actually really stop, I'd like to think of a format where I can sort of actually not talk while making a video a ton, leave a lot of open gaps in. Stitch and sew. Okay, now we gotta do this for all these points. So this is actually what I think is probably going to be the hardest portion of this, so that's why I started with it. I think that's good in life, to start with the thing you think is going to be the most difficult. And just like in this case, a lot of times it isn't as difficult as you think it'll be. This only took 5 minutes to get, right? And I did say beforehand that I was going to move the points into position so they were in line with the they're in line. I just never did that. Sometimes you can get by with doing stuff like that. Sometimes an unforeseen thing will come up in the model later on where it makes you regret it. Okay, so now one thing is we have this thing. One thing now is we have this piece in here that's filled in. A lot of times you can leave stuff like that, but it's just like lining these points up where it can just randomly come and bite you later on. So for now, I'm just gonna try to get rid of this. Alright. Now we have a basic sword shape. So what next? I guess the handle, I think that having the grip on the handle might be a little bit of a challenge. So I think I might move towards that. I think the two hardest pieces are going to be the grip on the handle as well as these parts right here. So I feel like doing the grip on the handle first. Let's figure that out. So let's start by, obviously we're going to need to cut this circle in half. So I'm going to get, what's the best way? So a big part of 3D modeling is making selections well. And there's different ways to do that. This is the loop selection tool. And you can see that right now it's not actually selecting what I wanted to, because it's selecting over here, which is the front. So I can't use that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the top, and then we're going to use the quick selection tool and we're going to turn off only select visible elements. So what that'll do is it'll actually select the top as well as the bottom at the same time. So if I do it right, I can select the top and the bottom and all the pieces in between in one swoop and save myself some time. Okay, so I think you gotta take off this. And I think what we're going to do is delete it and then level it out and make it flat. So, and I'm going to check the bottom, see what that'll come off. And it looks good. So we're going to send it, just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look in the point mode and I'm going to try to level this side off. And let me do Control A, and then there's something where it gets rid of all these points, and I haven't used this in a while, so I don't remember. It's optimize, which is boom, there we go. Okay. So now I'm actually going to select these lines and double check here that, yep, right ones. No, I think we need to do this by points actually. Okay, so what we're going to do is move that point out to there, and let's just align everything on this line right here to give us a reference point. And it'll be pretty obvious if it doesn't select the bottom one because you would see the point offsetted. So we're not going to need to check that every time. And also, this video is probably going to have a watermark on it. I just got a new job, but I have not got paid yet for that new job, so I can't buy screen recording software just yet. And the one I was looking at was like 70 bucks. So maybe the first few of these will have a watermark, but before long it won't. So you guys are just going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry. And if anyone watches these, they probably won't be watching the first few anyways. Okay, now we have, what's that? What is this? Let's get rid of that quick. Let's do another A, and then optimize. Alright, so then we're going to loop selection. Well, no, hold on. Okay, so we need to make a little bump here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop select the lines. Right. Optimize. Alright, so we're getting a weird selection here. Sometimes stuff like this happens, I don't really know why. I guess it's because of this middle thing in the circle. So what I want to do is just grab the entire edge and I want to pull it outwards. Oops. Deselect, how do you do that? So you hold Control and then you use the selection tool for deselect, because then I'm going to hold Control again and pull this out. So that'll give us a nice way to do that little bezel thing. Alright, and then we're going to do another loop selection. This one should work perfect. Here we go. And then we're going to extrude it. Then obviously we're going to want the caps. Then I'm going to make this one smaller using the loop selection tool again. Using the scale. Whoops. Scale. S. It's not S. T. T is the shortcut for the scale tool. Nice. I'm going to make it, the handle should probably be a little bit wider than the blade. I think one thing I've struggled with in the past is trying to be too exact with doing some of this stuff and not just flowing it. I was thinking that doing these kind of videos would probably help me to just get used to kind of freestyling, building the stuff a little bit more. I'm almost feeling like the blade might be a little bit too small because the handle looks like about the right size to me. Let's go to there. Let's do one of these for that bezel on the end. Oops. Pull control out. And one more to shrink and do that texture on. Alright. So now we're gonna loop selection this on this mode. I'm gonna scale it out a little bit. Sometimes Cinema 4D will do weird stuff, like it looks like it's going in a little bit in both these spots. I don't really know why, but like I said, this is just for fun, so we're not going to worry too much about that sort of thing. I'm going to take this, I'm going to bevel it. Then you can subdivide the bevel more. So instead of just one subdivision, let's do 3. I'm not too crazy about this, but sometimes I'll try to avoid 6s because it's the devil's number. I sound a little bit batty saying that, but it is what it is. Just on here being honest. Okay, put onto there with it, and then I want to fill that in. Alright, so there's a way to fill this, and I can't remember how. Close polygon hole, probably. No? Oh, this is a tool. There we go. I'm gonna throw the texture in of that hilt right now. Okay, so I want to do select every other one of these. I'm trying to think if there's a way to do that. I think there is, but I'm not sure how. So I think we're just gonna have to go a quick busy route option. And it looks like we'll center the scale thing. Oh, I still have select only visible elements on. Off. Did help a little bit though. Crap. So you hold on shift to add and then control to subtract. Which is kind of weird because a lot of times in Ableton, for example, you hold control to add. So I have some issues here with the selection. Check. I think it'll fix itself though. Yup. Looks perfect now. We're gonna do this. I think what I might do is then bevel all those edges. I know there's an option to switch to the lines. Okay. So let's just see how this works now. If I grab 2 of these and bevel them. See, it's adding some weird lines, but the thing is, we're just doing visual models, so I think that that'll be good enough, because it'll look like this right here. So that'll work good enough for our purposes. If you're doing, you know, some more advanced stuff with the model, other than just having it be sort of a display thing, that might become an issue. But since we're not, we have the freedom to just kind of limit ourselves to making what looks good and not what is functional in terms of like the way the polygons are structured and all that. So last winter I did a lot of videos where I showed my face. And you know, it was just kind of my first time doing stuff like this where I was talking to the camera. So you know, it is what it is. But I think what I always try to ask myself is like, is me showing my face something that really adds to the content? And I think that for doing these, maybe saying a few opinions here and there, I don't really think that showing my face and being in front of the camera necessarily adds anything to the content. So it's not that I don't want to be in front of the camera or whatever, but I just think that you need to kind of ask yourself, like, what's like the, I want to say it, what's the goal with what I'm doing? And the goal with what I'm doing is just to kind of have some fun. Alright, so now is the part I mentioned that might be difficult, which is making these grip bands on here. And I think the best thing to do would be to make one of these crisscrosses and just duplicate it a few times. So let's do that. If I look at my starting shapes, I think a torus. So the thing is the torus will have rounded edges on the inside, the two won't. So I can just manually round the outside and just leave the inside flat. I think that'll be the more right way to do it. So we'll start by getting this really tight on here. I don't think I should start by actually having it touch. Honestly, maybe we can just leave it floating a little bit above too. It won't be the end of the world. So then let's make this part smaller in that way, until we get more of like the height that we want. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make one and then I'm gonna cross it over the other. So let's do that. Then tube. See how this looks when I turn it into points. So we got a lot of subdividing on the edges. Might make it kind of hard to work with. Rotation segments, let's try like 8. So that makes a low polygon count. What if I do 8 though and I put it in a subdivision surface? Okay, so what this will do is that this is one technique that really kind of helped me a lot when I first started doing this. So we have it in a subdivision surface, so we have less points to work with, but we have it the final how it'll look, right? So you can see that there isn't more points, but you guys get what I'm saying. Yeah, let's try this now. So I think what I want to do is go straight above it and go to point mode and then go to only select visible elements to turn that off. Now I just want to have one of these out here. Miss some. Okay, so now we're taking everything, right? So we want to stretch one of these out like this. And actually we're gonna pay attention to how far we go to have it even. So 10 out. Okay. We're gonna go across the middle. And we're gonna do 10 this way. Okay. So how does that look without all that crap on it? It's like almost there. Okay, so I think what the issue is we need to go back a few with the front layer. That makes sense. We got the whole front layer, so we're gonna go back the way we came. I want to go 5. So this would just become, I believe, 12. Then if we do that over here, this would become 9. Then now we're gonna, I think we have the issue of it being bloated in the center. We could leave that, it would be a huge deal. I'm just gonna try to select it with that. I'm gonna try to, no, I'm gonna eyeball the scale. And scale is T, I just pressed S. Why would scale not be S? Alright. So now we're getting somewhere. I think what I want to do is I want to grab everything. And I want to scale the whole thing down a little bit like that. Make it a bit thinner. Okay, so now we're going to take that and we're going to basically mirror it. Getting lost in the files, man. Alright, so I want to mirror it. What is the best way to do that? I wish I knew. What I'm going to try first is to turn it. I didn't do it. I think maybe if I flip it this way. Okay, so there we go. We're getting almost to where I want to be. So I think what I should have done is I should have brought the pieces out more. So I'm going to go back here and grab these points again. This is the kind of thing where you can spend all day trying to get this perfect. So we're going to go 10 more out on both these sides. Alright, we're going to check how this looks. So that's actually nice. I like that. So I just need to duplicate that one more time and then take the whole thing and flip it. So I think that, you know, having the assets you've already made work for you is a really good skill to have, because I could have remade that, but I used to do stuff like that a lot, right? I would just end up remaking stuff. Instead of kind of thinking ahead more and thinking like, how can I reuse this piece by just doing something super simple, like duplicating it and rotating it. And I think that's one of the really important things to figure out how to do in motion graphics, is how to reuse assets in that way. So I think going 50 down for each one of these is a pretty good number. And speaking of thinking ahead, what I should have done is I should have saved one of these bands before I started editing it too much. I should have saved one for the very end. But I think what we're going to do, I'm talking about one that would go right here and just be on long end. I think what we're going to do though, just not worry about that, because that already took a little while. Alright, so now we have our grip. I'm going to take the grip, I'm going to group that. And file structure is also pretty important. Alright, change of plans. So, we were making a master sword, but I was having problems doing this part of the hilt right here. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna make this sword and leave it at that. And you know, maybe we'll return to the master sword at some point in the future. So we got this open over here, and let's open up the project. Okay, So here's where we were. We're gonna get rid of, well, we're just gonna hide everything. I like to do that if I ever get a situation like this, because you never know when you'll come back to it, you know, even if it's not for years, you might. So I think the best place to start here is to actually cut off everything other than the handle. So we're gonna do that. Well, let's do this. I cut off all this stuff. Okay, so now we got this handle. We're going to take the handle and we're going to attach a cube to it, or pull this out maybe. So I might just flatten this. Not necessarily proper sword construction, but it'll do, right? So, center is right here. Just get it halfway to the center on both sides. And then, I'm going to take this and I'm going to scale it up. Wrong way. I think the best way to do this is going to be to select the points right here. See, we gotta do one thing first. We're going to select all. So I think I want to select these points. What I want to do with these is I move them down a little bit. Just that leftover line we're having on both sides. kind of getting into what I consider to be polygon repair. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I 3D modeled a car. It wasn't the best car, but it was a car. And I had to do a lot of this sort of stuff. And I think this is the area, or this is like where I need to work on myself in terms of becoming better at 3D modeling. But also, that's why we're doing these videos, right? Because you see what I had to do there is I had to basically make a circle, sorry. I had to basically make a circle no longer, I had to make a surface flat. That's what I want. If anyone wants to comment below a way to bridge these, optimize them so all the edges that you didn't specifically bridge are connected correctly. It's been something I've struggled with up to this point. Okay, let's try to throw this. Let's see what we got here. We got the whole thing. I just want to disconnect this. I want to subdivide the bottom. I could manually bevel it too. See what kind of loop selections we get. See, that's a pretty good loop selection to try to bevel it manually. That went all the way down there, huh? Okay. So, if I just subtract this right here, and add that, wait, add that. I think we got all the edges now that we want to bevel, and seal that up in just a moment. Let's check this out. I think if we really round these corners, that selection a lot. Really would like to do something with it. That's weird behavior going on this edge though. It's like I can only do it like butt up to there. Okay. I think we just make this a little bit more of a point. Then we maybe do some stuff to slim this whole thing out. I think we'll be about there. Using that bridge tool sometimes creates some strange behavior. Right here we have extra points on the spots. hell would that look? Any weird behavior going on? I wonder if that could almost look cool. Select like all this stuff and just say like to make more polygons basically. So you know what? I'm just gonna leave it as is, and maybe, you know, I'm gonna try to make something happen with the blade. Why is that like that, man? Someone tell me. Not ideal. But now we can do that, right? Or not. Some funny stuff going on right here. Now guys, sometimes these kind of things just happen, and when they do, you gotta find a way to fix them. This is one reason I never want to 3D model for anything but looks, because I feel like you can take a lot more shortcuts when you're just doing it for the bare minimum of like looking good. Like, see, look, we have this stupid little flap, I guess you could say. See, when I 3D model, I'm always thinking, what's the bare minimum I need to make this usable for like a video? go. Strike gold with that. What I'm trying to do is I'm gonna try to use the closed polygon hole thing on this spot. Okay. Wrap all that spiky crap around a cube. this a little bit in on all the visible edges, right? See if this works. I think we might get a pretty unique result actually. This is a good example of turning something that could be considered like a screw up into like a interesting feature of the model. So I want to create caps. Yes, I want to create caps, man. Okay, yeah. Something. See, it's not the best sword, but it's my sword. Almost there, honestly. Does a dopamine rush, man. Bringing that blade out. It's been a tough one. You know, because everything else in the sword is kind of spiky. Maybe it's best that we do this kind of a sword. Well, we like how these other ones look a lot, though. Okay, let's do. We'll do a tip, but it won't be like too crazy. Now we need to add some texture in the middle of the sword. And let's have that feature like this one where it kind of comes out in the middle. And let's just do some loop cuts. What we're going to do a percentage loop cut. I'll give myself a little bit to work with, so let's do that. Then I'm going to take some of these spots. We do like these two and not, and these two on both sides. We can get a cool result by together like that. Alright, and then we're going to do some loop selections. Not a loop cut, loop selection G. Loop select there and there. You see that aim on corners, man? See that aim? Gotta know how your tools work, right? We do this, we bevel it. And for tip, I should have just done the same thing for it. But since we didn't, do that. And it should be, I believe, these. Extrude inner, and then we're gonna do this. Just a little subtle one with this one. And then see what kind of texture we have. Okay, let's throw this crap on there. And you know, let's just end there for this video. I think if I just make this sharper, I think we can call it and just do that. I mean, everything else in the video is going to be backwater, there's going to be watermarks on it, so, you know, it'll be fine. And we get stuck on making the sword pointy. Nice. If you say I'm not good at 3D modeling, what I would say to you is that I'm better than I'm in the 90th percentile of 3D modeling. So, at the end of the day, yeah, I'm not the very best at it, but I'm still playing at a decently competent level, right? Like for instance, for programming, you only really need to be at like the 90th percentile to make like probably $150,000 a year, man. Alright. Just throw some textures on this, put it in a soft box, and then, yeah, call it good. Let's do this with a soft box. Take this and make it absolutely huge. Okay, then we're gonna this. Can't be too careful. This, 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 this. Boom. Then we're going to grab a material preset. That's not what I wanted. There we go. That's what I was looking for. What's that? Prime, presets, backdrops. This is a circular one. We should need a dark circular one. Prime, materials, presets, backdrop. Come on, man. Give me a dark blue. want to use a texture for this guy. Just give us. Honestly, make the grip in this part. If you do it right, I think we can get by with this. Bronze Age. There it is. Sometimes you gotta search a little bit to find that the one that's actually controlling it. Once you find it, pure nirvana. Okay, okay. You know, it's a start, man. It's the first video, okay? You get what you get. Let's see if I can find like a something chill, something vibey. Leather one. Leather 2. Leather 1 is too light brown. Leather 2 is, I don't know, it looks like concrete. Leather 3. Alright, this looks like the best texture. The color's still off. So I'm gonna try to find that. Before, the color was coming from the base of this. This is an image. Okay. Base channel, blend channel. Mask channel, color. Maybe I can switch it by this. It's really dark brown. Come on, man. Alright, let's darken this one. Another image, I see. Is that true? Yep. Alright. Okay, again, let's go back into here. Hey man, you know, you want that real experience. Is it? Where's color coming from here? It could be a lot worse. I think once we do the bands in a brown color, I think it'll clean that all up. Let's do the bands last. I think the best way to get these might be this sort of view, maybe not. Let's check this view. This is our best option, I think, to just try to get almost all of it in one swoop. Just because what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to select it and then just deselect it. Just like those. And actually that's going to get it perfect, I think, the first go. So I want to make this gold. Let's try that. Alright, looks like I got most of it. Might have some sort of glitch with the polygons. What the freak? Okay, so last thing is a sword grip. You know what? Let's just try this light one. See how it looks. See, I know this already doesn't look the best, but it just looks lame, dude. It should be darker brown. I don't know what else to say but that. Color, mix mode, add. I think what I want is to do color, mix mode, multiply. Alright, I think we're almost about to crack the code on this one. Almost like a reddish dark brown. It's really got it on there, huh? That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Alright, let's see here. What can we do with this? Turn on ambient oscillation. Turn on global illumination. We're going to take everything, put it into one piece. I think it's sword, so let's put sword question mark. Looks like the whole thing. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to rotate this. It's a good angle, huh? This is a good thumbnail angle. And let's render the thumbnail for this video. in a sec. It's a little dark. Okay. We need some more lights, man. We need some more lights. We're gonna do big array of spheres. Material with luminance property of white and 100. We're going to put that on set array. We're going to check the camera again. And I think that's the thumbnail. And that's the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this first one. This a little bit rough around the edges. And yeah, hope to see you again next time. I'm going to be upping the quality and all that stuff. So thanks for coming, and have a good day or night. Bye-bye.